Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So it's been about a year since I got my Swytch kit installed on my old Trek hybrid bike. And my Swytch videos have gotten a reasonable amount of views. So thank you everybody for watching. I get a lot of questions. So today we're going to do a 1-year review. And I'm going to go on about a 10-mile ride today. And we're going to talk about things I like about it, things that I wish were a little bit different, and just general comments. So let's go for a ride. All right, so as we set off on this roughly 10-mile ride, we're going to start off by talking about battery life. Now, my results may differ from yours because I'm not using the Swytch all the time. In fact, on most rides, I keep it off for most of the time. So as you can see, my house is up at the top of a hill. I'm starting off a downhill section here, and I've got the whole unit off. I won't turn it on until I get to a hill that I want a little bit of assist with. And we'll see that coming up. Now, over the year that I've had this, I estimate that I've gone through about 40 charging cycles with that battery. I have to say I estimate because I've got documentation on most of my rides, but not all of them. Typically, I'm charging it probably once a week. Depends on how much I'm riding. And one of those charges will typically get me between 3 to 5 of these shorter rides. Now, sometimes on the weekend, I'll go out and do 35 or 40 miles. And in that case, we're going to use the entire battery or most of the battery and then have to charge it again after that ride. Now, again, I'm using varying levels of assist. As you can see here, we're still going downhill, and we're about to go up the hill that I featured in one of my early videos. And this is early in the ride, and I can ride up this hill without having any assist at all. However, for me, it's a bit easier to turn it on and just crank my way up the hill and keep my speed going. So right about here, I would reach over, turn the unit on, turn the assist up, typically to about a level 4 on this hill. And you'll see we kind of go through, keep the momentum up. And the videos don't really do this justice, but this is pretty steep. It's reasonably short. And if you listen to the background noise, you can hear the cadence of my pedaling. At this point, I am more than likely standing up on the pedals and just trying to keep my momentum up as I go up this hill. Now, my bike is a 3x8. I'm always on that center sprocket. And going up this hill, I am probably on, I'm going to say, the third largest of the gears in the back. And you can see I slow down a little bit, try to do a look back on the hill, and then crank my way up to the top. So in any case, and then once I get to the top, shut it off again, and then we're going to continue on the ride until we need that assist. So about 40 charge cycles, like I said. No noticeable change whatsoever in the performance of the battery. No noticeable change whatsoever in terms of the overall mileage. I have noticed that in the cold weather, you get a little bit less life out of the battery. But that's true for effectively any lithium-ion battery, or really any battery for that matter. So keep that in mind. And then the other thing I've noticed regarding battery life is that obviously, a battery charged to level 5 is going to perform a little bit better than a battery that's charged to level 1 or level 2. So you've got more electricity, more current available on a fully charged battery. So you'll notice if you do 2 rides on the same route back to back, and on the first ride you use up, let's say, 50% of your battery, the second ride is going to take a little bit more effort, again, just in my observations, in terms of what kind of current you're going to get out of that battery and what level of assist. So those are my observations on battery life. Let's move on and actually talk about assist. All right, so we've skipped ahead a bit here because this was a 40-minute ride, and I don't want it to be a 40-minute video. So I've gone downhill through the neighborhood. I had another pretty good hill to go up, but I took advantage of my momentum in gravity and really had a good start at that hill. Basically left it in very low gear on my center sprocket, or a high gear, I should say, so the smallest of the gears, and cranked my way up that with still no assist. And one of the things I really like about the Swytch kit is it levels the playing field. So I'm riding the bike a heck of a lot more than I ever did before, because I don't feel boxed in by my ability. So I live in a really hilly neighborhood, and when I ride with no assist at all, my legs get tired, reasonably quickly. I mean, I'm not a great cyclist yet. Let's just leave it at that. And I can do it, but it really takes a heck of a lot out of me. I really enjoy the rides a lot more when I can use a little bit of assist here and there to help level out those hills. So I used to put the bike in the back of my truck, drive down to a bike path, and ride on the bike path, which is reasonably flat, build up my strength. Now I don't have to do that, right? Now I can ride anywhere I want. Most of the time, I'm keeping the assist off. Every once in a while, especially at the end of a long ride, I might put it on at a very low level to help me out. All right, so at this point in the ride, we're probably, I'm going to say, halfway in, somewhere between 4 and 5 miles. Now, we're entering a part where the downhills are behind us, and we're going to start to go into a bunch of uphills. So here I've reached over, I've turned the unit back on, and I have the assist probably on a level 3 for the hill that's coming up. And this is really not a steep hill, it's just a long, kind of taxing hill. And I know if you're a professional cyclist or you're really a cycling enthusiast, you're going to tell me this is no hill whatsoever and I should be pedaling my way up. However, if you're watching this video, you're probably not a super serious cyclist, because you wouldn't be really interested in an e-bike or a pedal assist kit. So you can see here I've slowed down a bit because, yes, I like the assist, but I also like to get a workout. And as I get toward the top, I'm going to end up shutting it off again or turning it all the way down so there's no bars on the assist side, which is effectively the same thing as no power, until I get to the point at the bottom of the downhill section that I will eventually go down here, where I have to turn it on again and start to go up the hill. Now, over the course of this ride, when I do have the unit on, I'm either going to be at, let's say, a level 3 or a level 4 on the steep parts of the ride. In some cases, even at the end, I might go up to a 5 if my legs are really starting to feel like jello. Other than that, the unit is usually off. But, like I just said, if I get to the end of a long ride, when I say a long ride for me, 25 miles typically, or longer, I might turn it on an assist level of 1 or a level 2 just to smooth things out a bit. And it's amazing what a level 1 or a level 2 will do in terms of just taking some of the stress out of the way. Now you'll notice there, for a brief minute, I put my head down and you could see the display, and there were, still at 4 or 5 on the battery side, and the assist all the way off, so no bars at all, which is the same as turning the unit off. Although I seldom do that, I usually turn it off and turn it back on again, because I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to just have more battery available if the thing is not on when I'm using it. So we've skipped ahead a bit again, and here's another long, annoying hill climb, kind of in the back of the neighborhood that I live in. This is about a mile from top to bottom. I've got the assist on, and I'm working my way up to the top. And again, once I get up to the top, I'm going to shut it off. So my typical rides, like I said, the assist is on, the assist is off, and I get the most mileage from that. And then more importantly, I'm actually getting a workout. I mean, you can see in places here where I slow down. I think if you pay close attention, you can tell where I'm standing up and pedaling hard. And it's important for me to actually get a workout. And I find that the more that I do this, the better my overall performance is on the bike. Now, another question I've seen a lot concerns drag. In other words, does the kit, when it's not being powered, add any drag to your front wheel? I've seen people say that it does. I've never really experienced that, although you will notice a tremendous difference if you're going along and you've got, let's say, even an low assist level of 1 or 2, and then even on flat ground, if you shut it off and you go just to pure human power, it's going to feel like there's a little bit of a drag because you no longer have that motor pulling you along. But from what I can tell from the experiments that I've done, that's purely psychological. And if I start off with the motor off, it basically feels the same way. When I free spin my wheel, it doesn't seem to have any drag on it whatsoever. Now, there is one other point I want to make with that, and I have yet to take the hub motor apart, and I'm probably not going to unless I have a problem with it. But when you think about the way that works, is there has to be some type of a clutch in there, right? And basically, the clutch is not engaged when you have the motor off, and so there's no connection between the motor and the driven part of the hub. However, when you turn the kit on and look for some assist, then that clutch has to engage to actually drive the front wheel. Now, from time to time, I've noticed that when I shut the assist off, momentarily, it might feel like that clutch is still engaged. And if I stop pedaling for a second and then continue to pedal, it feels to me like the clutch disengages and I am back to normal. So my recommendation to you would be, if you do seem to have any drag associated with your kit, reach out to Swytch. I found that their tech support has been very responsive to me. And the behavior, from what I can tell, you should not have any drag at all if your kit is working the way that it's supposed to. All right, so we've skipped way ahead again, and here I am making my way back through town to my house. So this is about, I'm going to say, 8 miles and change into the ride. Now I'm back in a more congested neighborhood and doing my best to not just cut through this intersection, but go with the traffic. So last thing I want to talk about is problems, right? What problems have I had with the kit since I've had it? And really only 2. The first one was self-inflicted, and I've got a video on it that I created probably 6 months ago, where after a ride, I noticed that half of my pedal sensor disc was missing. The little spring came off and the disc came apart, and only half of it was left on the bike. Now, that was in a winter ride. I was making a video. I was wearing heavy work boots. It was really cold. My theory is I kicked that disc accidentally, and that was why it came apart. And when I reached out to Swytch, and you can watch that video and see it, they sent me an entire new sensor kit immediately at no charge, with no questions asked. So I was very, very happy with that level of support. The other minor issue I've noticed, and it pops up probably once every ride, is sometimes when I've got the kit on and I'm under power, I'll feel a little bit of wobble from the front wheel. And I've noticed that if I stop pedaling for 1 second, let the motor disengage, and then start pedaling again, the wobble goes away. Now, I'm not sure what's causing that. It certainly isn't a problem that bothers me. And again, on a 10-mile ride, if it happens once, and on this particular 10-mile ride, it didn't happen at all. So it's not something that I'm concerned about, but if you're experiencing that, know that you're not alone. Now, as we start to wrap up this ride, I've got one hill left to go up, and you'll see I'm going to come up to an intersection, take a right, and then I've got this long, slow climb back up to the flat part of the hill where my house is located, and I'm going to have the assist on as I go up that hill. But I want to just talk for 2 seconds about the pros and the cons here. And I'm going to keep this really, really simple. So from the pros, for me, the most important advantage is I ride the bike a heck of a lot more. Like I said, now I feel like I can ride the bike almost anywhere. I love it. I am really enjoying it, and I attribute all of that to the kit. Now, at some point, might I buy a better bicycle and actually start to do this a little bit more seriously and maybe not have any assist? Maybe. But I feel that the kit is a stepping stone to get me there. And I got to tell you, you've seen the videos that where my wife installed the kit on her bike. It's made cycling just fantastic for the two of us because she can put the kit on all the time if she wants, and it just makes our rides together a lot more pleasurable. Based on that alone, it's been worth it for me. Now, finally, from a con side, the bottom line is this is not going to turn your bike into an e-bike. So if you expect you're going to put this on, get a thumb throttle or a twist throttle with it, and you ride it like a motorcycle with a 250-watt motor, unless you're on perfectly flat ground, that just isn't going to happen. I've seen e-bikes that have much more powerful motors. 750-watt motor is 3 times as powerful, and you're going to have a completely different experience. So if you're looking for that, you probably want to look somewhere else. Other than that, for what it's cracked up to be, which is really a pedal assist system, I think it's a great value. And I'm going to continue to use it and really enjoy it as time goes by. All right, so all in, that was 9.3 miles in 40 minutes, and not a bad ride. And again, made a lot easier by the fact that I've got the Swytch kit on the bike. All right, so that was a pretty good ride. It wasn't long ago that I did my 250 subscriber special. And here we are just a few months later, and I'm closing in on 500. So thank you everybody for watching. And if you like my content, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe, and we'll just keep those videos coming. Thanks a lot, everybody.